Hey there, I am Gary Parrish. Welcome back. CBS Sports Eye on College Basketball podcast, where we sometimes discuss camel fighting, dodo birds, leaky black. Matt Norlander is here with me. The Eye on College Basketball podcast, presented by Jersey Mike's, proud sponsor of the Naismith Award. Jersey Mike's would like to offer their congratulations to all of the athletes on the watch list. Let's get into it. And we're going to start in the Big East, where UConn and St. John's both won Tuesday to set up Friday's showdown. 25 blocks south of where I'm sitting right now. Final score, UConn 92, Xavier 60. Final score, St. John's 68, DePaul 56. So the Huskies and Red Storm have now combined to win 26 straight games. Next up, they'll see each other Friday night inside New York's Madison Square Garden. Norlander, good to see you on a Wednesday. We don't have to preview, pick the game. We could do that Friday, but let's just appreciate that we got to this point. Rick Pitino, Dan Hurley, inside MSG with long winning streaks and a capacity crowd. Should be awesome.
I will be on hand there, obviously. Dip down into the city on Friday. Looking forward to it. And, yeah, this is what we would hope it would be in the preseason. UConn and St. John's at the top of the league, playing a game with real stakes behind it, both of them ranked, both of them with good momentum. We are getting that, but even beyond that, and kind of why we're leading the show with it, we'll get to other stuff from Tuesday. It really was, this was as non-pressing of a Tuesday as we've had since December for sure. So there wasn't one major significant result from Tuesday night, but we got some good stuff coming for you in a little bit here. But with UConn and St. John's both playing last night, both winning, they're now a combined 39-6 overall, both in the top 20 of a variety of predictive metrics. It's good for the Big East. The Big East needs needs this rivalry this season in particular, needs these two teams to continue to do well. Our opening poll question here on the show live today is, what seed do you actually think UConn will wind up with? We did our bracketology stuff yesterday. GP and I both had UConn on the one line, which I think is borderline irrefutable at this stage. But I'm excited to be there. The game you could make the case it has equal parts urgency for both teams. Now, they're going to play each other twice, and they will not finish the regular season with the rematch. Sometimes you get the leagues will kind of assemble and make sure that final weekend, typical rivalry games is the final one before the conference tournament. That is not the case there. UConn will host St. John's at the back end of this month. So they'll get both of their meetings, GP, here in February. But the first one being at the Garden. UConn going on the road. If it wants to be a 1 seed, right now it's sitting fine. If it continues to win, its resume metrics are going to be fine. I got a bone to pick with you, buddy. Okay, I got a bone to pick with you right now.
Pick if you want to
bone to pick. So I'm on the phone last night with a source, and I'm talking, and I got some stuff on. Okay,
all right,
and all of a sudden what did I hear?
What'd you hear?
Did I hear Parrish just say my name on CBS Sports Network? I was like, hold on, I got to rewind this.
I was trying to bring my teammate along with me. I was trying to raise you up.
However, you said something along the lines of, and earlier today on the show,
yep.
He was down on UConn. I am not down on UConn. How dare you?
You're down on UConn.
1 seed. I have them as the lowest 1 seed, but I have them as I am not down on the Huskies.
Okay.
I am not down on the Huskies. I heard that and I said, I'm going after his ass on the show tomorrow. I'm not down on the Huskies. Okay.
I want to you are not the only person in my life who sometimes mishears what I say. All right? So
Did you not say he's down on the Huskies? Yes or no?
No. What I said was he's a little down on the Huskies relative to me. When I say I think UConn should be the second number 1 seed, and you say no, they only have 5 quadrant 1 wins, that by definition means you're a little down on UConn relative to me.
No, you're just a little. I think you're a little higher on UConn than I am. I think we should change the framing. That's all.
You are not the only person in my personal life who sometimes mishears what I say. Rather, it's early for me. All right.
We have reached that time of the season where I am concerned for my friend's health.
So I'm going to forgive you, but I will forgive you if you offer an apology. I said you're a little down on UConn relative to me, which I think by definition is true.
I would say you're a little high on UConn relative to me. That's the way that I would look at it personally.
Well, I would say if you're going to nitpick my words to this degree, I don't know that there's a path forward for us.
It did make me do a double take. I was like, all right, what is it? Hold on. I literally stopped the phone call. I was like, give me 30 seconds here. I gotta rewind this. Let's see what I said there. I was like, okay. Anyway, I had to invoke that to start the show. Okay, to the point I was getting toward, taking way too long to get there, admittedly. For UConn, game on the road, keep pace, 1 seed. It does mean a lot there. Although I do think there is, there's clearly a scenario where, like, if UConn were to lose Friday, it can still wind up with a 1 seed. But the competition for the 1 lines right now stands to be pretty fierce, and that's a great thing for college basketball. For St. John's, the Johnnies at 17-5 have 1 loss since December 20th. It was the home loss against Providence, which looks more vexing by the day, frankly. The Johnnies here, they've got the games against UConn and then quad 1 opportunity. I'm looking at it right now, GP. I guess Providence might be quad 1 on the road. Marquette is not at this point. Seton Hall would be, but that might be it. So just in terms of positioning for seeding, UConn aiming for the 1, St. John's trying to get into that position where can we get to, a 4 or a 5 and be comfortable there. There's real stakes around it, in addition to just all the drama that comes with it, Early versus Patino and everything attached there. I'm excited for it. We'll obviously preview and pick the game on the Friday show, but by nature of both of them winning on Tuesday night, it sets up the best case scenario for the Big East. And it's a huge weekend of games overall, but UConn St. John's right there near the top of the list.
Yeah, it's going to be awesome. And the point I made last night on Inside College Basketball, in addition to how disrespectful you've been to the program that's won 2 of the past 3 national championships.
Yeah, just lies on the show. You can just lie anywhere on television these days in this country. Keep it up.
I'm taking my cues right from the top. So
that's how you're living your life now.
No, it's not how I'm living my life. Okay. My jokes will only go so far. The point I made last night is I'm just excited to see both of these teams play against another good team because it hasn't happened much, and it's a Big East problem. Do you realize on Friday night, that will be UConn's first game against a currently ranked team since it played Florida on December 9th. And it will be St. John's first game against a currently ranked team since it played Iowa State on November 24th. This is a byproduct of the Big East being the 5th rated conference in the country and only having 2 ranked teams, only 2 teams in the top 30 of the net. And here's the even worse part. More than half the league is outside of the top 75 of the net.
Yeah.
So UConn is 12-0 in the Big East. All right. But here's how the wins break down. 7 of them are quadrant 2. 4 of them are quadrant 3. 1 of them is quadrant 1. UConn had 4 quadrant 1 wins on December 9th. Has 5 now. And they're on an 18-game winning streak. That's given them just 1 quadrant 1 win. And that's the reason why I won't punish them, when it comes to bracketology stuff. This is a team that could, not would be, but could be undefeated at full strength. It's a team that's scheduled aggressively in the non-league, 25th rated non-league schedule, I believe. So they did everything they could do, and their conference has let them down. And so I'm not going to punish them for that. If you gave them the type of schedule that provided 10 quadrant 1 opportunities right now, they might have 10 quadrant 1 wins right now, or 9-1. This is an elite team that is being punished by some by the lack of quality in the Big East, and it speaks to where that conference is right now, that it is February 4th and we are still waiting for UConn, which is excellent, to get a 6th quadrant 1 win. So that's the biggest thing for Friday night. Both of these teams will get to test themselves against a comparable opponent for the first time in a while. And I think it's probably bigger for St. John's because we know UConn's excellent. St. John's could be a little bit of all right, yeah, you went on a little 8-game winning streak. Congratulations. But what have you really done? Hey, you're the 2nd best team in the Big East. Congrats. That doesn't mean anything. It means you're a borderline top 25 team. That's what that means this season. So it's a bigger game on its home floor for the Red Storm, I think.
Yeah, I would agree with you. Pick one or the other. It's bigger for St. John's, has the game on its home floor. St. John's probably sitting, I haven't really tease out the math that much. I'd say St. John's is probably like a 7 right now. Oh, look, it's snowing again. Is it snowing in New York City right now, GP? It's snowing in Connecticut.
I do not see snow outside of my window now, but it's all over the
Driving.
ground. It's everywhere in the streets.
It
Big
is.
piles,
It is.
big, giant, literally piles of ice and snow taller than me. I know
Yeah.
that don't say much. That's
That
kind of like
does.
bragging about being the second best team in the Big East, but you get the point.
Yeah. It gets to be that like gray sludge, brown snow, just the grossest stuff ever. Anyway, the snow will be there before the end of the podcast, I'm sure. A couple points on this as it pertains to UConn. I talked to Dan about this. He told me after the Florida game, I think it was, here was his exact quote. Speaking to the non-conference schedule, I think we talked about this on the show, but a reminder, a refresher. He had 6 notable non-conference high major opponents, and 6 for the most part has been the standard going rate for a majority of high major teams. Some coaches will only do 5. Rare, but not unheard of that you'll have someone go 7. Hurley said, quote, "It's gone so well. Next year, we may go to 8 of these big games and 3 bye games because I hate the bye games. When I wake up the day of a bye game, I just want to go die. The anxiety, the fear that your team is the wrecking of a loss, or how just mad you get at your team when they underestimate a scrappy, loaded mid-major team. I hate those games." He also added, quote, "I would love to go to 18 conference games like some other leagues." And quote, "You see what the Big East is doing here. UConn's going to the tournament. St. John's is going to the tournament. Villanova projects as a single-digit seed right now. Willard has done a nice job in year 1. And then you have Seton Hall that is just determined, I think, to tightrope along the fence. We'll see if it gets in or it doesn't. And then that's it. Unless some team comes out of nowhere and wins the automatic bid in the Big East tournament, we will have the least compelling Big East tournament I can ever remember, and a very healthy chance the league only sends 3 teams. Now, it only sent 3 teams a couple of years ago as well, but when that happened, you will recall Seton Hall, St. John's, Providence, Xavier? No. Well, there were like 3 teams knocking, I think it was St. John's, Seton Hall, Providence. They were all they were 3 of the 6 teams that just missed out. So they had competitive teams knocking on the door, didn't get in. Not a good year for the Big East whatsoever. It is a firm 5th among the Power 5 leagues, and Connecticut and St. John's are left to kind of carry the flag for the league this season. And if UConn continues to win, obviously it's going to maintain a 1 seed status there. Its resume-based metrics are all in the top 4. Like it still is a 1 seed as of today. But yes, when it comes to quad 1 specifically, it is not going to have the same tally, the same opportunities as other teams that are vying for that 1 line, which is why I do think Friday, it might wind up meaning something in the end. Now, if it only loses at St. John's and then it runs the table and doesn't lose again, a 2-loss UConn team will be a 1 seed. That will happen. They're going to have enough quad 1 wins. The record will be so gaudy they're going to get a 1. But certainly notable that as we ready for this game on Friday, and it should be an amazing scene, an awesome environment. I'm very excited to be there. I hope we get a really, really good game. The building will have, a ton of St. John's fans, and plenty of UConn fans are going to infiltrate the territory, obviously, Store South and all of that. It's just unfortunate for the league this season that it hasn't had that many key games. It just hasn't. Like, UConn eviscerated Xavier, and all apologies to our buddy Fanta, but like the game wasn't worth watching at halftime. It was done. St. John's was on the road, got the win at DePaul, avoided getting tripped up, which was key there. But DePaul is better than it has been, but it's still outside the top 100. Like, hasn't been able to get rolling there. We know Marquette's a disappointment. Xavier's just in year 1 under Richard. We get all that. Georgetown, disappointment. Providence, extreme hot seat, like run amok. They are expecting a coaching change there because they have been a huge letdown after a big NIL year. Creighton's been hasn't been good. Butler still can't bump up there. So yeah, not good times in the Big East. You have 2 really good teams, 2 big programs, 2 famous coaches. Arguably, I'd say the two coaches that are the 2 faces of the sport from a coaching perspective. You could make that case, but there's just not enough other stuff there. And so I'll take any single good game you can give me. Hopefully UConn and St. John's comes through in a big way on Friday night.
Yeah, it should be great. The problem is that there haven't been enough great things in the Big East this season. As for bids for that conference, it looks like a 3 or 4 bid league right now. CBS Sports official projected bracket currently has it as a 4 bid league. UConn, St. John's, Villanova, Seton Hall. I know you keep saying UConn is a 1 seed. I had on the Eye on College Basketball podcast yesterday, UConn is a 1 seed. The CBS Sports projected bracket actually has UConn as a 2 seed right now.
Yeah,
UConn is
wrong. So, and the good news is our bosses have empowered us to disagree with it. I'm disagreeing with it. If the committee right now, UConn would be a 1 seed. Sorry, Iowa State would not be on the 1 line. Not with 2 losses and one of them to being to Cincinnati. That would not be the case.
Hey, you take it up with somebody else. All right.
No, that's the thing. We get to trash talk the machine. That's what we get to do. The
All right.
machine is wrong.
Well,
Iowa State is not a 1 seed.
All right. Well, Duke is the projected number 1 overall seed right now in that bracket.
Do you think? I mean, honestly, Parrish, if the committee met right now, do you think there's any chance in this known reality that undefeated Arizona would not be the number 1 overall seed?
You ready? 0% chance.
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, let's move on. We'll do the Wednesday Whiparound next. We'll start with the only undefeated team that played on Tuesday night. Final score, number 23, Miami, Ohio, 73, Buffalo, 71. Let's celebrate the Redhawks next. First, though, let's get a word from our partners.
When you need your sports news all the time,
we've got breaking news to bring to you.
CBS Sports HQ gives you a snapshot of all the sports that matter to you. When you need your sports in a snap, find it on CBS Sports HQ. Streaming free anywhere you are.
23 Miami, Ohio, 73 Buffalo, 71. Buffalo actually had a shot in the air in the final seconds. If it goes, Miami loses, but it didn't go, so Miami won. Still undefeated. Still a great story. I don't know what there is to say about the game, anything new there is to say about this, but out of respect for the Redhawks and Wally Szczerbiak, we have to note they won again.
Oh, and beyond that, we could just wax a little bit here before we move along. In fact, got a couple of mid-majors we need to talk about here. This is the longest win streak in MAC history, 23 in a row. Miami averaging 93 a game. I was watching this down the stretch. Had to put the kids to bed. It was on ESPN Plus, so I had it on the lapper. Wife was not going to let me put the kids to bed and bring the laptop upstairs and just kind of see, boys, you want to see if Miami can keep it going? No. So I paused it, came downstairs after I knew the game was done, and then watched it. And I was like, are they actually going to do that? Are they going to blow this way? They did, and a couple missed foul shots on 1-on-1 situations down the stretch that even made it a game that was in doubt. But I think it was Luke Skaljak, who had both of those 1-on-1s. They escaped. Buffalo did have a shot in the air to win it, couldn't get it done. And a really awesome story just continues. I'll have something later today at .com on I mentioned this, I think, on the Sunday show, but it is rare to have a season hit February with multiple undefeated teams. And I don't know how much longer this will go for Miami. I hope it goes into March, because that would be an amazing, like, we all remember when Wichita State went into the tournament without a loss. We all remember when St. Joe's ran the regular season table. We remember when Gonzaga went all the way to the national title game without a loss. We get it every so often, and it adds to the story and frankly makes those particular seasons all the more memorable. Like in the column that I'll have later today, I reflect back and I have a video there of when Stanford went all the way to the final game of the regular season in 03-04 without a loss. And the highlight of that was Tiger Woods courtside hit as Stanford hits a shot from about 37 feet after a turnover against Arizona at the buzzer at home to beat Arizona. It was on a Saturday afternoon. I remember where I was. I was at my student newspaper at the Echo on a Saturday afternoon. There was no one in the student center, and TV's up in the top left corner. Like, I'm in college at that point. I want to go into sports writing. I love college basketball. I lose my mind. I go running down the hall looking if anyone else is in the building that wants to experience this with me. Stanford has remained undefeated with this unbelievable ending. Like I was watching that video again last night, and I was transported to a different time in my life. And by the way, read the story later today. Watch that video. Maples Pavilion is an inferno, man. You got young Tiger Woods, hat on backwards, courtside, going nuts. It was an unbelievable scene, like truly a different time and place. And I invoke that and I bring that up because Miami, while it's not in a power conference and it's not going to play a super high profile game on a weekend, it is making an undefeated run right there alongside of Arizona. And to get deep into the first week of February, at least with having 2 undefeated teams, it's a special thing. It really is adding to my enjoyment of this season. Miami is building up what could be a very interesting NCAA tournament case. They've still got to get through a lot of February and get out of this month with like a max of 1 loss. And we can kind of dive into that more and more as the schedule goes along. They got to play on the road against Marshall. That's the Max Sunbelt Challenge, GP, this weekend. I know you're all over it.
Of course.
If they can win that game, that's their hardest statistical game remaining on the schedule. Then we might be really cooking with something. But I'm so thankful that we have a story like this, because I love this kind of stuff. I really, really do. Now they're dancing on a razor's edge here. 4 of the last 5 games have been by 6 points or fewer, and they could have lost at least 3 of these games. They haven't, which is wonderful. Miami is 8th as of this morning in Ken Palm luck. If you're on the top if you're on the top ledger of the Ken Palm luck, usually doesn't bode well for you come NCAA tournament time. History actually bears that out. But for where we are right now, appreciative that Miami was able to win again, get the sweep of Buffalo, keep it up. 23-0. Shouts to Wally Serbia.
For whatever it's worth, Ken Palm has Miami, Ohio projected 82-79 winners at Marshall. So if it goes as planned, it'll be another competitive game. This kind of stuff is big. You can nitpick the schedule and the strength of schedule and the whatever else you want with them, but there's something compelling about just keeping a 0 in the loss column this deep into any season. It brings attention you otherwise could not get. Like, you ready for this?
Mm-hmm.
I don't mean this as I don't mean this get twisted into a negative thing. I just mean it as a true thing. We are probably talking about Miami, Ohio on this podcast over the past month more than we will over the next 5 years.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just the way this stuff works, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So, and it is a direct byproduct of the 0 in the loss column. So it creates a tension like this, but it also brings people to your campus. Like, I was just thinking through this as you were talking. I've been to Murray State, I think, one time. It happened to be when they were undefeated very deep into a season. And it was like, well, I got to get there and see what that's about.
Mm-hmm.
I've been to Wichita multiple times, but like, I remember flying from wherever I was to St. Louis for the MVC tournament title game because they were about to close out undefeated heading into the NCAA tournament. That took me there. I didn't go there for any other reason, but they had a 0 in the loss column, and that's where you need to be. And so Miami, Ohio has become that on some level. And yeah, we'll see how long they can keep it going. They have been living dangerously, but the 0 is still in the loss column. Let's move over to another great story. Final score, number 19, St. Louis 91, Davidson 82. Billikens improved to 22-1. Now 10-0 in the A10. As we've talked about, the 1 loss is a 1-point loss at the buzzer. So perhaps Josh Schertz and the Billikens aren't getting the same type of attention nationally that Travis Steele and the Redhawks are getting, but they're starting to get a look. Like, you see the viral, there's Josh Schertz in the bar. There's Josh Schertz getting his head rubbed by a stranger. Like, you're starting to get that stuff out there. So, it's a fun deal.
Last time you had your head rubbed by a stranger, I know you're not big on the touching. I'm just wondering. I'm wondering if that's happened.
It is something that happens. It's going to usually be like a golf course thing. Like some guy thinks he's being funny. You're over there just trying to enjoy a nice hot dog at the turn, and some guy's like, "Oh, GP," and you're like, "Man, come on."
Can't I just put this hot dog in my mouth without someone touching my head?
I mean, buddy. Okay, play that one back.
We had a poll, A block, live audience. What do we think UConn seed will wind up being? 71% say 1 seed, 27% say 2 seed, 2% say 3 seed. Not a single vote thinks UConn will be a 4 or worse. I would agree with that. Josh, let's transition that. I'm curious on St. Louis and what our live audience thinks St. Louis will wind up being, because right now, SLU, 22-1 for the first time ever. We did our 1, 2, 3s, and 4s on the Tuesday show, GP. If we had extended that out to 5s, I think St. Louis has a case as a 5 seed right now. In terms of the AP poll, 19th this week. It's the highest since 13-14 season, which was that undefeated Wichita State season, of course. St. Louis got up to 10 that season. It will get back up to 10 if it keeps this up. And if it keeps this up and is able to continue to win. Now, it was down early against Davidson, and then it just rolled. It was on our air, obviously. I was dialed in watching it because I was like, oh, wow. Are they going to lose? And are they going to lose like comfortably? No, that is not how it went down. SLU flipped it again. They continue to be an impressive team on both sides of the ball. Right now, how about this? this is a shocker. Now, we got more games to go, and this stat likely will not hold. The deeper you get into the season, the harder it is to maintain big winning margins over your opponents. Best single season points per game margin since 99-2000. Okay, past 26 years, Parrish. St. Louis right now is at 23.2. It is beating every single one of its opponents on average through 23 games this season by 23.2 points. That is the best of any team in the sport, any team, since 99-2000. Number 2 is 2018-19 Gonzaga, 22.8. I think Gonzaga, that Gonzaga team is still going to be number 1 at the end of the season. I don't think St. Louis can keep this up and beat teams by 23 plus. 25-26 Gonzaga. This Gonzaga team this year, right now, 21.7. It's tied for third best along with this year's Iowa State team and this year's Michigan team. So 4 of the 5 best points per game margins of the past 26 years are happening this year. But as always, the key is the story's not done. The games are going to get harder. Those margins are probably going to drop down. But nevertheless, awesome for SLU. It continues to be great on both ends of the floor. Really, really good three-point shooting team. But defensively, it plays so well as well. So top 7 guys are all reliable on a night in, night out basis. It's not just, and that's the other thing about SLU to me is it's not just Robbie Avila. If you told me that St. Louis was pacing toward being an NCAA tournament team, and in doing so, Robbie Avila got back into the national All-American conversation, I would have believed you. But that is not what's happening here. Trey Green has been tremendous. Amari McCautry has been a key wing. Dion Brown, although he is not a reliable three-point shooter, certainly has been a key guard there. They are doing it by committee, and credit to Schertz and his system, and credit to Avila, because 2 years ago he was a cult figure and he has continued to be a very good player, but he has not been an out-and-out star this season. He hasn't been asked to do it, and he seems to be good in his role. And as a result, St. Louis is 22-1 and the best mid-major team in the country.
Last night it was Brady Dunlap coming off the bench. He had 22 points, 6 of 6 from beyond the arc. So that's a really good basketball team that is winning at a rate that's going to put itself in position to advance in the NCAA tournament. You mentioned you think you could make a case for them as a 5 seed. As you know, I sort of do the top 25 and 1 based off of that way of thinking, and I have them 20th in the top 25 and 1 this morning, which translates to a 5 seed. Now let's move on to the plucky Blue Devils. Final score: number 4 Duke 67, Boston College 49. Cameron Boozer got 19 and 12. Duke in the ACC is a little like UConn in the Big East. Like, nobody is questioning whether you're awesome, but this conference is not giving you the type of opportunities other conferences are giving their elite teams. Now, I want to be clear, Duke has 9 quadrant 1 wins. That's as many as anybody in the country. But this is also true. The Blue Devils haven't beaten a currently ranked team other than Louisville since December 6th. So the ACC doesn't have a lot of quality, just like the Big East doesn't have a lot of quality. But the good news is the same way that's changing for UConn and St. John's on Friday, it's changing for Duke and North Carolina on Saturday, because they get the first of 2 scheduled meetings. They're going to do it at the Dean Dome, I believe.
They are. The Dean Dome this Saturday, just a huge Saturday of college basketball as the Winter Olympics, which I love, get going, and then obviously the Super Bowl on Sunday. So we have a stacked weekend ahead of us, undoubtedly. Boozer had 19 points, 12 rebounds, 5 steals for the big man in this game. He did have a poster dunk to close out the first half as well. It's Boston College. What do you want from me? Like 9-13. Duke wins easily again. No hesitation on it. We wait for them to see what goes up against North Carolina. We'll have more on Boozer before we get out of the show.
Final score in Knoxville, number 25 Tennessee 84, Ole Miss 66. Chris Beard got ejected. That was a weird scene.
That was a weird scene, in particular because he was about to leave. He's calm. He jogs back over to the team huddle. There's like 6 and change to go. And then he just, whatever message he needed to get to his team, he did. The way that he did that, we can re-roll that again, Josh, if you could, please. And I know you won't know this reference, GP, because you've proudly never seen a full episode of Seinfeld. But there's an episode of Seinfeld in like the 2nd or 3rd season where Kramer finds himself in jail, and the scene where he's like kind of composed and he's not acting himself, but he's normal. And then he asks the security guard if there's just one more thing. And then he throws himself up against the glass and starts losing his mind. He's like, you got to get me out of here. You got to get me out of here. Get me out of here right now. That's actually what I thought about when I saw Beard doing this. Whatever the message was, it didn't work. Tennessee won easily. Ole Miss is a huge disappointment. It's 11-11. It's not making the NCAA tournament. It's a lost year in Oxford. I will say Nate Ament has been terrific.
Yeah.
Terrific. He had 28, 6, and 4 last night. He is averaging 23 points a game in his last 7 games. And since January 10th, he is averaging the most points of any player in the SEC period. So it hasn't been quiet. He just hasn't been of the entire season. Like Nate Ament entered the season as a potential top 5 pick, top 5 freshman. He hasn't been that. He's clearly been in the top 10, and he's really emerged in the past few weeks. I wonder if he keeps taking another step and another step and another step off that ladder, GP, and if when we get to the end of the month and when we get to March, if he doesn't wind up, ending where we had him at the start, so to speak, where he is one of the 5 most important, valuable, productive freshmen in the country, because he is trending that way in a major way. Another awesome game for him last night.
Josh, show me Chris Beard one more time.
He was.
You know what this looks like to me? This looks like a man who just found one more empty Capri Sun package in the couch. That's what that looks like. He looks like he looks like
we have been there. With us, sometimes it'll be peanuts, not the Capri Sun package, but trust me, I hear that the whole way.
Chris Beard, that's what it looked like to me. That looked like a man who'd been on the road for a little while, came home to appreciate his family, sat down on his couch, and there were 3 Capri Sun packages in between cushions. Why?
You couldn't be speaking from experience, right? This is just hypothetical.
The garbage can's right there. The garbage can's right. You didn't have a problem walking to the fridge to get the Capri Sun, but walking back toward the fridge, not even as far, to throw the Capri Sun package away. That's where we.
What flavor are you rocking right now? I think we got some strawberry kiwi downstairs.
And we got cherry. We've got the normal fruit stuff.
The fruit punch, yeah.
Yeah, I got him 50% less sugar,
Josh is doing incredible work right now. He's got the picture. Josh, that's amazing work by you. He didn't know I was going to invoke that. That's an awesome scene from Seinfeld back in the day.
I mean, I understand, Chris. I pull Capri Sun packages out of my couch all the time, so I get it, man. I understand what happened in Knoxville. I get it. Final score: USC 81, Indiana 75.
Yes.
Alijah Arenas, career high 29 points in just his 5th college game. That's the good news for USC. Bad news: Chad Baker-Mazara left with a lower body injury. Not sure how bad it is, but it didn't. It's one of those that when I watched it in slow motion, I went exactly like this. Oh, you ever do one of those?
Do that. Can I get that one more time, please?
Yeah. Close your eyes and picture Chad Baker-Mazara's leg doing something it's not supposed to do, and this is what I do when I watch that in slow motion. I go, ugh. I do that just like that. Yeah, one of those. It makes me do.
You know what? I'm more of a ooh.
I'm more of a this. But what's weird is like I watch my For You tab is wild, buddy.
Oh, I never select it. It's never my default. Thank God. So yeah.
You know what? I that's smart, but like I do select it sometimes. Like sometimes I'm up late and I'm like, let's see what's going on in the For You tab.
Is that what you need to be doing?
I don't know, but that's what I'm just being transparent with you.
It's late. You get into the top 25 and 1. You turn off the lights. You call it a night. Get an extra 15 minutes of sleep.
That is not how my nights tend to go. I don't go to sleep as much as I fall asleep. I fall asleep. Okay, I don't go to sleep. But man.
Yeah. Musk said he thinks it's a sprained MCL for Chad Baker-Mazara. Tests will come in Wednesday. We'll see if we get an update by the end of the day. Thursday, obviously, would be at the latest. Arenas looked really good. He had 6 boards. Cam Woods also had 18. USC got off to a really nice start in this game. I think it hit its first 7 shots, and that allowed them to kind of keep pace, and then Indiana was kind of running from behind the whole way, and it wound up going that way. USC has won 3 in a row, and the league is 17-6. I actually thought this was the biggest leverage game of the night in college hoops on Tuesday. As a result, like USC it projects as a tournament team. Indiana does as well. We'll see if both can keep pace with that. But it would not have been ideal, obviously, for USC to lose this game on its home floor. Try and get yourself some momentum going. It was able to do so. Indiana only shot 28.6% from 3-point range in this one. They go to LA, they get the split. You're Indiana, you take it. But I found that one to be an interesting game. Only one more for me on Tuesday, GP, and that is NC State getting what I thought was a key road win over SMU. This is another game that involved two teams, just hovering in that 8, 9, 10 seed range right now. And Boopy Miller could not save the day. NC State almost yacked this game away. It had it, and then it was giving it up and practically just begging SMU to take it. Boopy Miller found himself in traffic, couldn't get the shot off. NC State winds up winning 84-83. That was really close, though. I'm presuming Will Wade got his team on the bus and the hell out of Dallas as fast as possible, because that was an escape that they probably didn't think was going to be an escape. Quadir Copeland, he didn't have a turnover. They have 16, 17 assists. Let me bring up his stat line here. He had himself one hell of a night and came up big for State, which won its 5th in a row. Copeland had 16 assists, 7 points, 10 rebounds, and a steal. He played well. Darian Williams was also awesome. 6 of 12 from 3-point range. Had himself a really nice game, and Trey Holloman produced as well. So NC State has won 5 in a row. He's gone from 12-6 to 17-6. It's vaulted. It's like it's single digit seed for sure right now. SMU still in the tournament picture for sure as well. Just maybe along those nine seed lines. This is the best start in ACC play for NC State in 20 years. Parrish, 20 years. Will Wade, year 1, 8-2 through 10 games. Good on him. Good on that program. They figured some stuff out, and a big reason why NC State's hitting 40% of its 3-pointers this season. It's 7th in the country in 3-point accuracy. Wolfpack gonna dance in year 1 under Will Wade.
All right, let's keep it moving. Up next, we're going to do our weekly Naismith Watch segment. But first, Josh, let's get another word from our partners.
When you need your sports news all the time,
We've got breaking news to bring to you.
CBS Sports HQ gives you a snapshot of all the sports that matter to you. When you need your sports in a snap, find it on CBS Sports HQ. Streaming free anywhere you are.
Oh, you know what time it is. It's time for our weekly Naismith Watch segment. Are your go-to game day foods feeling uninspired? Next time, skip the usual suspects and order Jersey Mike's. At Jersey Mike's, they make every sub to order with premium fresh sliced meat, and cheesesteaks are cooked on a flat top grill. Download their app for delivery, curbside, or in-store pickup. Jersey Mike's is a proud sponsor of the Naismith Award and a proud maker of a sub above. Norlander, long way to go, clearly. But right now, if you can, give me your top 5 candidates for the Naismith Award.
I want to encourage everyone to follow CBS Sports CBB on your socials.
Oh,
Twitter, Instagram. I don't have TikTok, but it's on TikTok too. I think there's stuff that gets put on TikTok with us talking all the time. No idea. Do you have TikTok, GP?
It is on my phone. I have never posted. I don't look at it.
Thank you.
But this is like sort of like you're just living in two different worlds. The thing that I will hear from young people more than anything else is like, hey, I'm at my kid's baseball game, and like a little, like the shortstop's older sister is like, hey, Mr. Gary, I saw you on TikTok, and I'm like, well, what was I doing? Tell me more. What was I up to? And they're like, I think you were just talking about Darren Peterson or something. I was like, okay, that's good. That's probably all I need. That's probably all I need to do on TikTok.
Yeah. I bring that up to say follow all of that. I am now doing weekly. Listen, Jersey Mike's has the Naismith Watch at CBS covered wall to wall. Okay, so I had my first top 5 post up earlier this week. Here's my top 5 right now. I actually thought it was pretty competitive too. Outside of Cameron Boozer is number 1.
Sure,
not debatable. He's the front runner for National Player of the Year. I go to Joshua Jefferson. Now, Iowa State has not had some high-profile games as of late. You look at the team, the record, Jefferson's game over game output. I think he is 2 right now. I put Braden Smith, your national leader in assists per game, at 3, in part because A.J. DeBonsa, although he had an awesome performance against Utah, that was sandwiched around his 2 worst shooting performances of the season that also resulted in losses. So I put DeBonsa 4, and then at 5, and had Texas Tech won and Toppin been better, earlier this week, I would have had top and 5. Nah, Keaton Wagler, man. I got Wagler sitting in the 5 spot after what he did. It was just announced on Tuesday. Keaton Wagler was the USBWA's high major player of the month at that. So Boozer, Jefferson, Smith, DeBonsa, Wagler. You got a top 5?
I've got 4 of those 5. So we, just like on Tuesday's episode, bracketology focused, we're pretty much in lockstep here. I obviously have Boozer, DeBonsa, Jefferson. I also have Keaton Wagler instead of Braden Smith. I got Yaxel Lindenborg right now.
Okay, I can buy that. I looked into it.
Yeah, okay, but I do think this is interesting. I don't know if you've noticed, but sometimes we reference the Ken Pom Player of the Year standings. Right now, Braden Smith is down to 6. Jeremy Fears is up to number 3.
Fears was a very close cut. Fears was my 6th player. Yeah.
So right now, according to at least the Ken Pom Player of the Year standings, Braden Smith would not even be the highest rated or whatever the label fits, point guard in the Big Ten. And AJ DeBonsa, though you and I agree he should be a first-team All-American right now in that Ken Pom Player of the Year standings, he's down to number 10 now. And there was a moment in December where he was about to catch Cameron Boozer. Like it was, and I don't know that that's over, but at least in that algorithm, it's not close anymore.
Yeah. You mentioned Fears. You mentioned Lindenborg. See the Dusty May quote on Monday where Fears, did you see the video too? We didn't talk about it on the show because I didn't catch it in real time. But Fears sticking his foot out.
Yeah.
A dangerous play on Lindenborg. And then Dusty May said, go watch the tape. 40 minutes. Not hard to find. All over the floor.
And then Tom responded. Like that is getting where I get the sense that those two men, because we know both of them, I get the sense that they respect each other on a very basic level, but are starting to irritate each other.
Yes, I agree with you. I agree with this. And again, I'm here for it.
Yeah.
Let's go. I wrote a big thing. I went out to Michigan last year. I wrote a big thing on Dusty May kind of, emerging and looking for that rivalry and Izzo in the final stages of his career, Dusty May entering his prime kind of deal. Very fun dynamic there. Not fun if we've got players out there trying to harm other players, and I'm not going to directly put that on Fears that he was intentionally trying to end the Axel Lindenborg season or whatever, but the video is pretty damning, and it takes a lot for a coach to go on the record and essentially insinuate that another team was playing dirty over the course of an entire game. Right. And it makes for compelling copy. It'll make for a good lead up to the rematch in Ann Arbor to wrap the regular season. But those are 2 of the 7 or 8 best players in the country. Hopefully they're both healthy to give it a go again in a few weeks.
All right, let's look ahead to the next 2 nights before we get out of here. Tonight, on Wednesday, I will be in studio, CBS Sports Network, with Adam Zucker, Ice Young, and Roy Hibbert. Call time 4:30. Then we got a triple header, followed by a 30-minute episode of Inside College Basketball. That, based on recent experiences, probably going to get started around, let's call it 1:25 a.m. Eastern. Elsewhere, oh man, buddy,
1:25. I will not be staying up. I'm gonna be out. I'll be snoozing. Head on the pillow. Night. Dreaming of sheep.
I'm gonna get an afternoon nap. Then I'm gonna be ready to go.
Okay.
Buddy, by the time you see me tonight, my eyes are gonna look great. It's gonna blow you away.
That's when it matters most.
It's gonna blow you away how awesome I look on TV tonight once I get this little nap in. Elsewhere, the sport tonight: UCF at number 8 Houston. Like, hey UCF, let's see it.
Yeah, let's see it. What can you do on the road? Tough assignment. Not expecting to win. Can you keep it competitive? What are we gonna see?
Number 10 Michigan State at Minnesota. That could be tricky.
Minnesota has had some opportunities and let them slip. I thought they were going to play the role of a spoiler in the Big Ten, and maybe they still will. Maybe they will here in this game. Don't take it for granted if you're Michigan State there. You should win the game, but it's just one, you keep it on, you get the quad box going. It's maybe lower left of the screen, but don't let it drift off your radar. That's all.
Number 16 BYU at Oklahoma State. So that's AJ DeBonsa in another historic arena. That's fun.
Are we calling Gallagher-Iba historic?
Oh, I want to. I love Gallagher-Iba.
Is it on the? It is behind. I got my Cathedral College basketball behind me. Shouts to Kyle Welliston. Basketball passport. It is on there. We can keep going, but that is the rare arena that was It's actually like Soldier Field. Honestly, it was made worse by renovations. They increased capacity.
I agree that. Yes.
And I was never at the old one. I've never even been to that one. I would love to get out there to Stillwater. Shouts to Kyle Boone. But Oklahoma State alum, obviously strong jaw, and I would like to get there. But I have heard from way too many people that it is a worse building, a worse environment since they renovated it, put more seats. You need to chop off 4,000 seats in that building. But if you want to call it historic, I won't necessarily argue with you. Go ahead.
It is too large. I agree. In the year 2026, I just remember being there and like talking to the people about. Now you see this wall here. This wall's been here for 7 million years, like that kind of stuff. And I was like, well, that's neat. That's neat to have a wall here for 7 million years. So I don't know. I enjoyed being there.
That's the kind of thing when you hear like you go to Rome and they say Rome is built like an onion, like you can actually see the history. So you've got Rome, you've got Greece, and you've got Gallagher Iba Arena.
That's right. People don't connect these dots. I'm glad you finally are. Stillwater is a lot like Rome.
Yes, of course. That's people don't talk about that enough.
People don't talk about that enough. Stillwater is a lot like
we talk. Elvis's alma mater, UMass Lowell. Julius Caesar's alma mater was Oklahoma State.
People don't know that he was a cowboy.
Yeah,
he was a cowboy. People do not know that.
But hold on, the BYU again on the road. Oklahoma State. It's no pushover. Can you go get this one on the road? If they don't, gonna have some just resume questions. They're in the tournament, but like, can you get it done on the road? I'm interested in this one as much as maybe any other game tonight.
Seton Hall at Villanova. Like, if we're looking for the other good teams in the Big East, like other possible tournament teams in the Big East, there we go. So that's a game. Utah State at New Mexico. There's a game between possible NCAA tournament teams. And then this is my favorite. This is my favorite thing on the schedule. Texas A&M at Alabama. Bucky McMillan.
That's the game.
Born in Birmingham, back in his home state.
Yep.
To coach the first place Aggies against the Crimson Tide. 6 years after being a high school coach in the same state. I mean, come on, man. That's as good as it gets.
You've got a former high school coach scheming up against a former NBA contracted player.
I thought you were going to note that Nate Oates is also a former high school coach. I thought that's for you.
We have two former high school coaches. That's right.
Yes.
But we're really hitting all the bases, touching all the spectrums here. This is a terrific game. A&M at the top of the SEC. And by the way, an A&M team that has played well, but I would argue like they have a higher ceiling than what they have showed this season. So what can you do on the road here? Only one loss for this program in the past 2 months, essentially. If they win this game, they will go 2 months between two losses. So we'll see if they can get it done. Alabama sitting there 14-7, lost 2 of its past 3, lost 4 of its past 7. Games on your floor. See if they can come off the Florida disappointment, and boy, was that ever a disappointment, and see if they can actually rebound in a meaningful way. So Tuesday was a little bit Wednesday's undeniably the better slate. There's plenty of stuff to tour around here tonight.
Thursday, not much. Only one ranked team in action. Penn State at number 2, Michigan. So we'll keep an eye on that. And then we'll be back to talk about it on Friday morning. Is that the way this works?
Friday morning. Yes, Parrish. That is the way it works. Friday morning, 9:45 a.m. We open the show today on UConn St. John's. We'll have to wait and see what the next 2 days bring, because unless you want to run it back, you want to run it back Friday morning, UConn St. John's. Let's go.
I mean, I'll run it back.
We'll mix it up. We'll figure out something one way or another.
You think it's challenging trying to figure out how to do a Friday Eye on College Basketball podcast, buddy? Start trying to do Grizzly shows.
No. Hey, listen.
I mean, today's easy.
You are set for at least a few days. You're good to go for the rest of the week.
I ain't worried about today. I'm worried about March 4th and April 4th.
That's gonna be That's going to be a problem. Yeah.
And I want to be clear. I'm worried about March 4th, 2027 in April 4th, 2027. It's rebuild time.
We were doing we did the Tuesday CBS Sports Network show, hopped in the feed. If you haven't gone do listen to it. We talked Aaron Peterson and all that stuff. If you didn't listen to that one, we talked about everything DP did on that show, but we did the most of it on bracketology. It was a fun little change of pace. Go find that show. But I want to say it was after the B block and before the C block where it hit the feed, and I could hear the spirit leaving Parrish's body when he said Jaren Jackson Jr. was traded.
Yeah.
He's an awesome dude, and we can wrap. I often say this. Sorry. We actually have a shorter show. I want to get you out of here if we can. Yeah. I will say this. I've had the opportunity to fortunately be able to interview a variety of players for a variety of different reasons as they make their way from college into the NBA over the past 15 years. Jaren Jackson Jr. is one of the 5 most enjoyable interviews and people in that specific scenario, college, and you're going to be a first-round NBA pick. He is one of the 5 best that I have ever talked to. He's an awesome person to be around, incredibly intelligent, super engaging, funny, respectful. I know you enjoyed having him in your city. Now he's going off to Utah. It's a major bummer from one bad team to another. And beyond anything else, like these things, obviously, when it comes to winning and all that, like there's a lot that's focused in on that. Just a great dude by, my small accounts. I had maybe 3 interactions with him ever, but I couldn't have been more impressed with him, and his reputation obviously precedes him.
Everybody in the franchise loves him. Yesterday was a sad day that nobody wanted to ever arrive. But you can understand why they're doing it. The Jaren core been together for 7 years. They won 1 playoff series ever. Ja's barely played the last 3 years. He's obviously been difficult in different moments off the court, and it just reached a turn the page moment. But I know nobody, broadly speaking, cares, but like you'll understand this if you're a sports fan. Like there is one person's face on the wall in my office, like of a picture hanging on the wall, and it's of a person. It's me on a billboard with you edited out. No. It's Dwight Gooden.
Yeah.
I randomly bumped into Dwight Gooden at a Mets game at this point, probably 10 years ago. And I felt like I was 8 years old. I don't do this. I've been in some rooms with some famous people and I leave them alone. I ran up to Dwight Gooden and was like, Doc. And I'm like this, and I got it. And I snapped out of it. I was like, what just happened to me? But that was my first favorite player. Darryl Strawberry and Doc Gooden will forever have places like in my world because they were my first favorite athletes. And my kids just lost their favorite athletes. Like that John Morant is Doc Gooden. Jaren Jackson is Darryl Strawberry. I don't mean it like character for character, but like my little guy's first favorite athletes, one got traded yesterday and the other one's on the way out too. And that's a weird thing. Like I FaceTimed him yesterday just to talk about it a little bit. And most people don't remember this, but the reason it's so crushing in Memphis is that you can go back a few years when Ja was 22, Jaren was 22. They were finishing second in the West. And ESPN would do NBA future power rankings. In other words, over the next 5 years, what NBA franchise is set up better than any other? And for 2 years in a row, it was the Memphis Grizzlies. More than the Oklahoma City Thunder, more than the Lakers, more than the Heat, more than the Spurs, 2 years in a row. And the byproduct of that, the result of it ended up being 1 playoff series win and now a complete blow up. And so it's been a weird, 24 hours, and it'll be a weird year or two, or hopefully just a year or two.
Woo! You never know. And on that uplifting note, that's a show.
That's a show. It looks like I got about 20 minutes before I got to go talk about that nonsense. So I'm going to get in this For You tab and watch a couple of fist fights.
I don't think that's necessary, but do what you got.
Man, I can't tell you how many times I just lay here in this bed, stare out at the skyline, and watch fist fights on my phone until I fall asleep.
Again, life choices.
I don't. Shouts
them out. Shout 'em out.
Shouts to Devin Downey. Shouts to Chester, South Carolina. Terry Teagle's a legend. Huck Larnell. One thing you learn about fist fights is almost nobody's really good at it. Most people stink at it.
People that usually are go on to get paid for it and do it in a ring.
That's right. Most people are not good at fist fighting. You're probably not nearly as good at if you think you're a good fist fighter, you're probably
have never been in a fist fight in my life. To no shock. Look at me. You think I'm getting to
I got into one in 5th grade.
Yeah.
I'm 1-0.
I got into a fight when I was a kid, but I've never gotten to like a let's throw fists. I've never done that.
I'm 1-0 as a street fighter. I retired in 5th grade.
Hey, my brother, play along at home. It's funny you mentioned street fight. Let's get out of here. But like a month ago, he hit me. Sometimes one of my brothers will just hit me up with like random stuff. He calls me. He goes, "Can you name all 12 Street Fighter characters?" And I was like, "Man, I got to 8." He's like, I got your over under at 8.5. 8. I got it done. So how about this? Before you do your show,
okay.
See if you can name all. We're not gonna do it here on the show. How many Street Fighter characters can you name?
It was at the skating rink in middle school, but I never really played. I couldn't do Street Fighter. I could do Mike Tyson's Punch Out pretty good, but I couldn't do Street Fighter.
Love Street Fighter. Shouts to Blanca. He's making the no context preview.
If you're not subscribed, please go subscribe anywhere you subscribe to podcasts. Apple, Spotify. There's more of us than there are of them. That needs to be reflected. So do that, and we're gonna talk to you on Friday morning. We'll figure out what to say by then. Till then, take care.